acting like everybody out here is like the administration is just going to start. I would say make it better. Stand on the shoulder of the giants. Whisper in their ear.
Did he make it better in 2016? Did he make it better?
You know what's really weird about it, though?
Yeah.
If he used to be a Democrat, and people, if he got praise from Democrats, from the liberal media, I really, truly believe they could have swayed him, because that's what he's looking for.
Okay, but let me ask you this.
Okay,
but let me ask you this.
All right.
I agree with you that all he wants is praise, but here's the thing. Why should somebody praise a guy who is a liable sexual abuser who has abused women, in my opinion, his entire life, a guy that is a snake oil salesman and just a horrible human being? Why would anybody praise somebody like that is, I guess, my question to you. It doesn't matter whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. Go ahead.
I think your name is Brian, right? Am I wrong?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've been called worse. Yes, sir.
Okay. No, I think your name is Brian, so I didn't want to get the wrong.
Yes.
I got the two O's maybe confused. No. I'm not saying praise those acts, Brian. What I'm saying is, suggest a policy like this budget impasse that everybody has right now. And, everybody's got to agree, whether you're a liberal or you're a Republican.
But they did. But hold on. But
I have this saying.
But that's my point. Hold on about your saying for a moment. They did agree. Mike Johnson, the Democrats and Republicans had a bipartisan bill that was ready to be passed. The person that interfered with it is the guy that you're talking about, Donald Trump and President Musk. They're the ones that interfered, just like they did with a bipartisan bill at the border. They had a bipartisan bill that was ready to go. It wasn't perfect, and Donald Trump interfered in that as well. And now we're in the situation we're in, make no mistake about it, because of Donald Trump.
I don't totally disagree with you, Brian, but what I'm trying to say is we spend too much money in this country, and I truly believe, I'm going to take your side, that there's a big wealth inequity.
Yeah.
Like Social Security, for one example, and I don't want to hog the whole show, the Social Security, for one example, people stopped paying into it after $168,000. So in about less than a nanosecond, Elon Musk has satisfied his Social Security payments for the whole year. You know what I'm talking about? When 2025 rolls around.
I do. And listen.
And that's wrong.
May I ask you a question, sir, if you don't mind?
Go ahead.
You're an independent like I am. If you don't mind me asking you, who did you vote for? And it doesn't matter whether I agree with it or not. I'm just curious.
I don't hate me.
I'm not going to hate you.
Donald Trump.
I don't hate people.
You know why?
Hold on. I don't hate people for voting for Donald Trump. I hate people for not explaining to me in an articulate way why. That's what I don't like.
Because I can explain it to you.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I thought he was the lesser of two evils. In truth, Brian, what I believe, and you may disagree with this completely, but I'll just be honest. I believe that the Republicans don't give a crap about the poor, and that the Democrats use the poor.
Okay,
so
even if but let's go with that.
Way.
Let's go with that for a moment. But why do you think Kamala Harris is evil?
I didn't say she was evil.
You said you voted for the lesser of two evils. That would lead me to believe that Donald Trump and Kamala Harris are evil.
That's somewhat of a figure of speech. It's like you just explained, like you didn't like your Popeyes. If you were there again, I bet you wouldn't have ordered the chicken fingers. You might have had the dark meat or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
you would have picked the lesser of the bad choices.
Yeah, but we're not talking about food. We're talking about lawmakers. And what was it about Kamala Harris that you didn't like so much that you said to yourself?
Really easy. I can explain.
Okay.
I can explain that succinctly. She really didn't have any particular policy.
Okay, what's Donald Trump's health policy? What's Donald Trump's health care policy? He's had 9 years. Can you tell me what his health care policy is?
Unfortunately, the Republicans have.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Republican, but they've negated.
I'm not talking about the Republicans. I'm talking about the guy you voted for. You care about policy? Healthcare is top 3 on everybody's mind. What is Donald Trump's healthcare policy?
I believe, well, right now, what I've heard before the election is that the healthcare system is going to get revamped.
Donald Trump doesn't have a plan. He says he doesn't have a plan. He said he has concepts of a plan, and he's had 9 years to think about it. You know what Kamala Harris's policy is on gun control. You know what Kamala Harris's policy was on abortion. You know what Kamala Harris's policy was on healthcare. You know what Kamala Harris's policy was on taxes. You know what Kamala Harris's policy was on homes and foreclosures. I don't understand what you mean, and I'm not getting angry at you. It's a conversation. No, what do you mean when you didn't know her policies? Give me something where you say, geez, okay, I have no idea where she stood on that policy.
Hey, Brian, a true fact here is most of America didn't think that the Biden administration.
I'm not asking you what people. I'm not asking you, sir.
She said on the news. She said on the news when asked by interview, and I don't know. I wasn't planning to call you and talk about it, but hey, she said on the news, "What would you do different?" And she says, "I can't think of anything."
I didn't ask you, but that wasn't my. But that wasn't.
I thought we were on the wrong track.
Okay, so first of all, 7 out of 10 Republicans think that Donald Trump won the 2020 election. So I really don't care what the mass majority of somebody in some poll. I'm asking you a specific question, and you haven't given me an answer. You just said that you don't know where Kamala Harris. Hold on. You don't know where. Hold on. You don't know where Kamala Harris stood on policy. I just rattled off a bunch of policies.
I do. You rattled those off. We knew what she liked. But
so you did know the policies. You just don't agree with them. Then is that fair to say? You knew her policies. You just didn't agree with them.
I wanted to know what was. Okay, I'm going to be honest. Like $25,000. If she was going to give $25,000 to new home buyers, that would increase the price of everybody's. That's just a car warning me. Okay. That would increase the price of everybody's home by $25,000.
Okay.
It didn't do anything. It was sort of like.
All right. So let's go with that. Your biggest policy disagreement with Kamala Harris, because that's the first thing you brought up, was that you don't like a $25,000 down payment for those struggling to help them buy a home, but you completely looked over the fact that Donald Trump has no health care replacement plan, that Donald Trump has had the top tax breaks for the top 1%, and I haven't even mentioned
it. I didn't develop it, dude.
I didn't even, hold on. I didn't even mention his behavior, criminal or not. The fact that he's a 34-count felon, the fact that he's a liable sexual abuser, the fact that he attacks and insults anybody that disagrees with him. I didn't bring up January 6th with you.
All of those cases have been dismissed. The sexual
absolutely not true.
But it could be true.
Absolutely not true. The Fani Willis case has not been dismissed. She's been dismissed. The case has not been dismissed. And when it comes to a liable sexual abuser, that has also not been dismissed. And when it comes to the other New York case, they are trying to postpone it until after he's president. So you are factually incorrect. But
I'm not going to play. Brian, I like you. And I'm not arguing. It sounds like we're having an argument.
We're having a debate. We're having a debate. I like you too. Yeah. It's not personal. We're having a debate.
I respect you totally.
I respect.
What I'm trying to say is for the medical. Let me just 10 seconds.
Okay.
Medical. I think it's going to be more of a laissez-faire. I would like people to be healthier in this country and not smoke cigarettes. And not worry about.
And you think Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is the guy? And you think Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is the guy that's going to make us all healthy? The guy that's anti-vaccine.
I wish he was running. I would have voted for him. I'm just telling you.
So the guy that
voted for Robert.
Okay, so let's hold on. Let's retract a little bit. So the guy who beheads whales, who stages bear murders in Central Park, the guy who thinks that COVID attacked certain ethnicities and religions, you would have voted for president, but you don't like Kamala Harris because you don't like that $25,000 down payment she was going to help families and people for buying homes, but you're still willing to look over the 34-count felonies, the liable sexual abuse, the fact that he has no replacement plan for health care. You want everybody to be healthy. I agree with you. I'm with you on that. But yet you're totally overlooking the fact that Donald Trump has claimed he had a health care replacement plan and he has concepts of a plan, but yet you're totally willing to overlook that. And the only criticism to Kamala, because you said you voted for the lesser of two evils, was you didn't like that $25,000 down payment on a home. Do you see why I get a little bit frustrated, with all due respect?
I listened real good. So 10 seconds better reply. it's not so much that I didn't think the $25,000 plan was the bad thing that's going to make me vote against her. It was just a stupid idea. It wasn't going to do much. The fact that Robert F. Kennedy has some imperfections, hey, President Biden had imperfections too. There was sexual abuses against him.
Not true. Not true. Not true. Not true.
Yes.
Joe Biden has never been found liable for anything. There was one woman that came forward that changed her story 4 times. There was no civil case and no criminal case. There have been. Hold on. No, that's a false equivalency. I can't let you get away with that. I know you don't want to argue, but you're bringing up sexual abuse with Joe Biden when 25 women have come forward and claimed that that Donald Trump raped or allegedly sexually abused him. Liable, found in a court of law. There is no analogy to make between Joe Biden and sexual allegations and Donald Trump. Come on, man. You can't do that. Come on, man.
All right, so I don't want to hog it all day. I don't want to acquiesce, but I'm going to go. It's your show, dude, and I'm glad that you're putting up an opposing view, and I don't want to play the role of your ex-host. I mean, it feels like it though.
No, we just respectfully disagree
on this note, and it's not a Trump note. I think in the United States of America, the term "us" means us. When you disagree with somebody, and you don't like that person because of the disagreement, you got to work to play the best hand you can. I think that the more wise choice, instead of saying somebody's a weirdo, a criminal, is, hey, well, the reality is the reality. You got to deal with.
And you think Donald Trump? And here's where and by the way, sir, I do appreciate. I appreciate.
That's all I'm trying to say.
I appreciate the conversation, and I appreciate your call. I respectfully disagree with you. Donald Trump is doing it right now. Democrats are willing to work with Republicans. They said it last night on the House floor. They said that they were willing to work with Republicans when it came to getting this deal done. You're making it like the Democrats aren't playing the hand that they have. Yes, they are. They're willing to work with Donald Trump. Donald Trump and Elon Musk and the Republicans are not allowing the Democrats to sit at the table. A perfect example of this right now. You're making it like the Democrats are not willing to work across the table. I'm sorry, sir. I just disagree with you on that, but I do appreciate your phone call. How you doing? What's on your mind today?
Well, I mean, I just heard the conversation, or I guess Rittenhouse has been brought up several times this afternoon.
Yep.
Actually, his father lived in Kenosha, which is where he picked his weapon up at. It wasn't transported by his mother.
Which to me is still irrelevant. He should have never been there with an AR-15 at the age of 17, dressed up in camouflage.
Okay.
Are you okay? Are you okay with him in his behavior that day? Do you think that was proper for his mother to send him to a very violent and dangerous Black Lives Matter protest, dressed up in camouflage by himself at 17?
You
think that's a good choice?
As I understand it, in the interviews that I've heard, he was going to over to help someone protect a car lot or something.
No, you're wrong, because they were actually interviewed and they did not know who Kyle Rittenhouse was, and that was actually investigated.
I'm going by the interview with Rittenhouse.
Okay, well, I'm not going by an interview with Rittenhouse. I'm going by the actual court case that took place, and I know he was found not guilty, Lauren, but there was no personal connection between any local business and Kyle Rittenhouse. But I'm still asking you. I'm still asking you the same question. I do think, Lauren, it's an important one. Are you defending his behavior that day, and you think 17?
No, not at all.
Okay, well, I appreciate your honesty. By the way, I've never called Kyle Rittenhouse a murderer. I've called him an idiot, but I don't think he's a murderer. But here's my point, Lauren, and you can tell me what you think about this. Do you think that people should look up to Kyle Rittenhouse as a hero, and he should be paid money to make speeches? Because that's what Turning Point USA is doing. That's what Charlie Kirk has been doing.
I think that's what every party does.
Okay, give me an example of the Democrats. Give me an example of the Democrats paying somebody that did what Kyle Rittenhouse did. Give me like some sort of example.
No, I'm not going to say that in this particular instance. I'm saying that both parties are guilty.
So give me an example if you're saying both parties are guilty. I don't think that's a hard question, Lauren. You're claiming the Democrats.
Well, I mean, I called in to talk about Rittenhouse.
Okay, but hold on.
So I'm not.
I'll give you the opportunity. All right, hold on, Lauren. I promise I'll give you the opportunity to do that. But you just made a claim, and I think it's very fair as the host to say, give me one example. You just said the Democrats do the exact same thing that the Republicans do in this aspect. Kyle Rittenhouse, who's a moron, and they pay him to make speeches across the country. And with respect, I'm asking you, when you make a statement like that, which I disagree with, but I'm giving you the opportunity to explain yourself, can you give me an example in the last several years of the Democrat Party putting somebody on a pedestal that's a moron?
I just said that I couldn't do that.
So why would you make that statement if you can't give me one example then?
All right, fine. Every year we have the president gives the State of the Nation.
Okay.
Okay. Every year, depending on which party is in, they always have people up in the gallery, in the upper part of the gallery, usually where the first lady is sitting.
Right.
And they point out people that have
yeah,
done
you know who Joe Biden did? Joe Biden pointed out heroes, parents who lost loved ones in school shootings. You know who Donald Trump did that with? Rush Limbaugh, the guy who called Barack Obama a Negro on the air and spread bigotry every day. So with all due respect, Lauren, I was
not a Rush Limbaugh fan either.
I'm not saying you were, Lauren. All I'm simply saying is I disagree with your comparison.
Well, then why'd you bring him up?
Because you just brought up the State of the Union address and who they honor. And I'm telling you that during that, Donald Trump honored and gave a medal to Rush Limbaugh. Joe Biden decided to give medals and honored people that risked their life for this country that lost limbs and parents that lost loved ones. So with all due respect, there is no comparison. You're trying to make a comparison between the Republican Party and the Democrat Party when it comes to somebody like Kyle Rittenhouse. I've given you the opportunity to give me an example, and you can't name me one, so don't make the comparison.
I told you that from the beginning, that I had called in about Rittenhouse.
But you're the one who made the claim that both parties they both do the same thing.
I gave you an example of it.
Of who? I'm sorry, repeat. I didn't hear.
I gave you an example of what takes place with both parties.
And give me an example. I didn't hear an example.
I did give you the example.
Be specific. I gave you Kyle Rittenhouse. Give me a name. Give me an example.
I can't give you a specific name. I can give you instances of what I see every year when the president goes before the Congress and gives the State of the Nation.
And who did he honor? Who did Joe Biden honor that you disagree with, that you thought was in poor taste?
Jesus.
What do you mean?
I'm not saying that I disagree.
Kyle Rittenhouse. Okay, but Lauren,
I'm not.
Lauren, here's why I'm asking you this. Okay, Kyle I think we could agree on this. I hope we could. Kyle Rittenhouse is an idiot. He should have never been there that day. He put himself in harm's way. It was
I agree.
Okay, we agree. Let's start there. We agree on that. Great. The Republican Party, many in the party have paid him. He signed a book deal. Turning Point pays him to make speeches, and he's seen as a hero. Donald Trump invited him to the White House. You just said, and I think you're wrong, you're entitled to your opinion, you said the left does it as well. I'm just asking I can give you a ton of examples of Republicans honoring idiots.
I'm sure you can, because you have a tremendous dislike for MAGA people.
I have a tremendous dislike for anybody, left or right, who praises somebody.
Brian, I can't think of anything, and I've listened to you for many, many years.
Lauren, I need you to listen. Lauren, I need you to listen to me. This is important.
Talk to me like.
Then you're off my show. I'll talk to you any way I want to, and there's nothing you can do. But I'm sorry I've embarrassed you. You can't give one example, but you make a blatant statement. Lauren, let me repeat myself once again. I have a dislike for anybody that praises somebody like a Kyle Rittenhouse. I have a dislike for anybody that would praise somebody for putting a black man in a chokehold for 6 minutes, even after he was unconscious. I have a dislike for anybody that would call the McCloskeys heroes for pointing guns at a bunch of black people at a Black Lives Matter protest. I have a disdain or dislike for anybody that puts those kinds of people on a pedestal. Now, you're the one who said it happens on the left and the right. I asked you for one example. You weren't able to come up with one because you just say things with no facts to back up your opinions. You even brought up the State of the Union address. And I correctly pointed out that Joe Biden has honored brave men and women in military. He's given them awards. He's honored parents that have lost loved ones. Fred Gutenberg is a personal friend of mine. At the State of the Union, Joe Biden had him stand up, praised him and others. I gave you specific examples of the types of people that the left and Joe Biden honors. And then, since you brought up the State of the Union, I brought up Donald Trump. He honored Rush Limbaugh, the slob and the racist bigot who was a cancer to society. He was not only cancer cost him his life, He was a cancer to society. He called Barack Obama a Negro on the air. He called Sandra Fluke a whore because she wanted her health care to provide her services when it came to contraceptives. Donald Trump gave an award to Rush Limbaugh. You brought up the State of the Union. I destroyed your point. You couldn't give me one example of somebody on the left having somebody speak at the Democrat National Convention. So I'm going to give you another example, and now I'm going to ask you a question. At the Republican National Convention, Lauren, and you're still on the line, Lauren, at the Republican National Convention, they had a wife beater speak. His name is Dana White, who smacked his wife in public. They had Hulk Hogan speak, who openly said on audio that he hates black people. They had Kid Rock performing, who uses homophobic slurs at his concerts. Can you give me an example of anybody who spoke at the Democrat National Convention who struck women in this last DNC, who's openly a bigoted racist, or uses homophobic slurs? Lauren, I'm asking you to give me one example of something you saw in somebody that spoke or performed at the DNC. Can you please do that for me, Lauren, as we bring you back up? Go right ahead. Lauren hung up the phone. Too bad, Lauren. Too bad, Lauren. You hung up the phone. I didn't want you to hang up, Lauren. I wanted to keep you on the line, but that's okay, Lauren, because Lauren wouldn't be able to answer that question either. 702-221-7283, the number to call. Let's go to Big Papa. Big Papa.
So how do you consider a far-right person would you say that they are?
I think you're far right, if that's what you're asking me. I think you're considered far right when you don't want brown people in this country, when you attack the gay community, when you think being gay is a sin, when you attack the trans community, when you judge people based on skin color, when you have no problem with January 6th and you characterize it as a tourist visit, but you only want to talk about Black Lives Matter protests, some of them that turned violent. And when you support Donald Trump, when you buy his Bibles, when you go to his rallies, when you call people like Kamala Harris a whore, when you call Joe Biden a pedophile, when you go out in front of a Target store and you picket and you don't want people to go into Target because they're selling, pro-LGBTQ shirts. When you do these types of things, you attack people for wearing masks, you attack Dr. Fauci, and you think he should be in jail. When you think drag queen reading is the sky falling, but then after a mass shooting, you say thoughts and prayers and you say more guns make us safer. I just named you a lot of things that makes you far right, and I could probably name you a lot more, but in general terms, that's what makes you far right in 2024.
Well, that's interesting. Have you ever, has it ever crossed your mind that maybe people are not going to bend the knee to the woke mob anymore?
Well, give me an example of the woke mob. Be specific, 'cause that's a general term. Be specific and tell me what you mean by that.
I mean, that's the swamp, is it not? The Democrats and the far left.
The swamp is the Democrats and the far left. So you would say Mitch McConnell's not part of the swamp? Is he far left?
Sure he is.
Okay, well, he's not far left.
Republican.
Okay, but he's not far left.
He could be a Rhino Republican.
Okay.
Well, he's still a Rhino.
Okay, but you said the far left. But give me an example of something that you think is woke. Give me a policy. Be specific. When you say woke mob, was it a woke mob that attacked the Capitol on January 6th? Would you characterize that as a woke mob?
Sure, I would.
Okay, so you're saying that those that attacked the Capitol on January 6th were leftists?
Yes, they were undercover.
Okay, so that's 150% not true. In fact, there were thousands of people that were, you can laugh, but I'm trying to give you facts and I'm trying to educate you. There were thousands of people that were prosecuted. Several hundred of those people are still in jail. It was proven in court that many of those people were far right in far right fringe groups, and it was proven in a court of law. There is no evidence that a bunch of lefty liberals were the ones that stormed the Capitol on January 6th. And for you to even make a statement like that is blatantly ignorant, sir. And there's no facts to back up what you just said. Can you name me one lefty liberal proven in a court of law that stormed the Capitol on January 6th? Can you name me one?
I don't know who the names of the people are.
Oh, you don't know who the names are. Yeah, how about Ashley Babbitt? Was she a liberal?
Not to my knowledge, but she was wrongfully shot.
Okay, well, I really don't care what your opinions are, whether she was wrongfully shot or not. I'm not going to get into that with you. You just said that there were lefty liberals that stormed the Capitol on January 6th. Sir, the earth is not flat. and they weren't lefty liberals that stormed the Capitol, and it wasn't Antifa. I mean, I'm not going to entertain conspiracy theories. That's absurd. Now, I've asked you to name me a policy that's woke. You haven't named me one policy. What are you talking about when you say woke mob? Give me a policy that Democrats have implemented. I can even name you a couple policies that I think are woke. Can you not name me one policy? No, I'm not going to do for you. You're the one who brought it up. Name me one policy.
What are you mad about, man?
Because you call into this show and you talk about the woke mob. You say the left was responsible for January 6th, which is probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. You complain about the woke mob and you can't name one policy on the left that's woke. How stupid are you, sir? Really, how dumb are you? Yeah, wow.
So was that
you're woke. I think you're woke.
You're
a woke mob. I think you're part of the woke mob, sir. Did you storm the Capitol on January 6th? Are you an insurrectionist?
No.
You look.
No, sir.
Do you look like Duck Dynasty? Do you live in a mobile home? What do you look like, sir? Are you another uneducated and ill-informed white guy who voted for Donald Trump? Get the hell off my show, you buffoon.
What you were saying about trans. Now, let me just let you know one thing. The African-American community is very religious, and they are against trans. And if you go to the island
what do you
of
mean?
Jamaica,
Hold on. What do you mean you're against trans? Be specific. What are you against?
No, you're not. It's the Bible says it.
Don't care what it says in a book. Don't care what it says in a book.
No, because you're saying, hold on, listen to me very carefully. Because you're saying God made a mistake.
What?
God don't make mistakes.
What do you mean? I never talked about God on the show.
Listen, when you say that you're a woman and you're in a man's body, you're saying God made a mistake. And at least
I never said that.
70,
I never brought up God.
I'm saying that you're not listening to me.
I am listening to you.
I'm trying to explain.
You're talking about the
Bible.
About
religion.
I know.
I'm talking about religion.
And
I'm talking about the black community.
Okay, listen
I'm
to me,
talking about
Jason.
if you say somebody's a trans, you're telling the black community that God made a mistake.
Jason.
And that's all I'm saying.
Okay,
and I'll listen to your opinion.
Okay, I stay on the line. Okay, Jason. And he doesn't stay on the line because he doesn't want to have a conversation. Boy, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating when somebody says something that I disagree with and I want to respond and keep them on the line and they hang up. Jason, I'd appreciate it next time when you make your points, with all due respect, don't hang up the phone. And I was listening to you. You're bringing up religion when it comes to trans people. I'm not bringing up religion, and I never have. Now, that's your opinion. Let me be very clear. My opinion has nothing to do with the Bible. I could care less what somebody wrote in a book. I don't care what the Bible says. That's me. I'm not a Bible thumper, number one. I do believe there is a God. I'm not an atheist. I don't run my life every day thinking about God. Here's what I do know. I don't care whether you're transgender or not. You do. I don't care what bathroom somebody goes into. You do. I don't care what it says in the Bible. You do. I don't care what your religion is. You do. I don't care what somebody believes with their religion. Don't force it on other people. If you're so offended that a trans woman goes into a bathroom that is a female bathroom to urinate and then leave, then that's your problem, not theirs. Then I think you're an idiot. Can I be any more clear? And if you want to preach the Bible all day, something I think many people, when they talk about Jesus Christ, talks about is not judging other people. Not judging other people based on sexuality, not judging other people based on how much money they have, and not judging other people because of what is between their legs. I'm pretty sure it says something about that in Christianity, yet how many Christians in society think that is a sin to be gay? So please don't preach to me, Jason, with all due respect, about the Bible. I could give two F's what it says in the Bible. I don't care. You know what I care about? Treating everybody as equals, treating people with respect. Whether you think it's a he or a she, I will call them what they want to be called, because you know what? I will treat them with respect because it doesn't affect me. Now, if we're talking about trans people on the playing field, that's unfair, and that's a different conversation. I don't care what bathrooms people use if they're trans. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect you, and there's no evidence that it would. I don't care what it says in the Bible, period.
And I want to call you out on two things. Number one, Republicans have been suggesting metal detectors. We're going to be having them here in Clark County School District. Yeah, they're not 100%, Correct, but there is no law that you
doesn't
can
sound
create
like it.
that's going to be 100%.
I never
Number
said.
one.
When have I
Number
ever
two-
said? When have I ever said that there is a law that would fix all the problems?
No, well, the problem is the guy just told you about metal detectors, and he said, I don't
Okay,
think
so
they're
let me
gonna
ask you a
work
question.
because they're going to go through the window.
Sure. So let me.
So you want something 100%?
No, I don't want. No, I don't
okay?
want. No, I don't want something 100% because I would never make a stupid statement like that. How? Okay, so
Well, that's what you just
riddle
said.
me
What
this.
did you mean by that?
Riddle me.
What did you mean by
I will.
that not being
I
able
will
to go to the window?
Okay, I will.
What did you mean by that?
Are you going to let me
That means you
answer?
want 100%.
Are you going to let me
You're-
answer? Or are you going to keep screaming? No, don't hang up on him. Okay, Al. Here's what I mean by that. So somebody like you, I'll speak very slowly and distinctly, so somebody like you maybe can understand. Maybe. I'm holding hope, Al. Let's go with the Uvalde shooting. By the way, I just said on the show with Leonard that I'm not against it, so I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I didn't say I was against it. What I did say, and I stand by my statement. Now, this is where you have to take the MAGA wax out of your ears and listen. What I did say was Uvalde shooting, for example, or even the shooting yesterday. If you do have metal detectors and someone's willing to risk their own life, kill themselves to kill innocent people, they're probably not going to go through that metal detector, or they'll shoot through a window or door. We both can be right.
Yeah, well,
Hold on. I'm not against metal detectors. Now let me ask you a question. Would metal detectors have stopped the October 1 shooting in Las Vegas?
No, but we're talking
okay.
about schools right now.
Okay.
We're talking about
what did I
schools.
say that
And
doesn't
yeah,
make sense?
It would have.
The bellhops
a metal
helped him
detector
carry
would
his
have
guns
helped
up.
if they would have them at the casino.
Al, hang on a second. We're not talking about casinos. Let's go to the Uvalde, Texas shooting, shall we? An 18-year-old just shot his grandmother in the face. Do you mean to tell? And by the way, he didn't go through a front entrance either. He went through a back door. If that back door was locked, he would have shot it down, I guarantee you. Can you please explain to me?
Can I ask a question on that? Because in my home, it shows when every door is locked and when every door is open. So the school didn't have, they don't even have a security measure that shows you the door is open. I mean,
I agree.
What is that? A couple of $100s?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Al, can you please explain to me what I said that is not logical? Where do you disagree with me, Al?
All I'm trying to tell you, okay, this is the impression that I got on this side of the equation, okay, is that you're against, maybe you've clarified it, and that's why I called in.
Wait, hold on a second. What do you mean now I've clarified it? 5 minutes ago, I just said, quote, I'm not against metal detectors. Why do you just assume
No, you said that.
I don't know if it would. I don't know if it would help a great deal, but I'm not against it. Now let me ask you a question. Other than Republicans,
let me say something that I wanted to say.
You're giving Republicans. You're giving Republicans credit. Oh, they want to pass metal detectors. Can you name me anything Republicans have done in 20 years to lower gun violence in this country? Because I could name you a laundry list of things that Democrats have done. What the hell? What the hell? You're a Republican.
That wasn't the point of my call.
That's the point of my question. I know that's not the point of your call. You're trying to defend Republicans, and I'm asking you a question, doofus. Answer the question. What have Republicans done nationally in this country in the last 20 years to lower gun violence?
Who do you think the metal detector laws over here? Here in Clark County.
Let's just assume.
All right. So the point is this. Okay.
Yeah. What is your point? The
point is this.
Yeah, please.
The point is this. We're talking about metal detectors in school to slow things down. That was my point. I don't think it's going to solve it 100%.
Correct.
The point that I was going to try to make, I think it's going to slow it down.
Okay. So that's
all I can think.
Al, one other question.
That's all I'm trying to tell you. And that Republicans have been talking about it.
Al, help me out here, and then I want Leonard to take over. But Al, help me out here, okay? Other than your claim that Republicans have voted for metal detectors in schools, can you give me something on a national platform? For instance, something that Donald Trump did, that the man that you voted for, something that Republicans have done on a national level that you think will lower the gun violence in this country? Because on the contrary, they're making it easier for Republicans to get for people to get their hands on guns. Ron DeSantis passing a law that felons in 8 years could legally purchase firearms. They're making it easier for people to get guns. What the hell have Republicans done on a national scale to lower gun violence?
Let me tell you, first of all, you're a moron. Okay.
Okay. Why?
I'm going to tell
why?
you what it is.
Why am I a
Get the
moron?
liberal earwax out of your ears.
What did I
my
say?
My point of my phone call
Why am I a
was
moron?
metal detectors in school.
So you don't want to answer
Why
the
do you
question.
Go off
He doesn't want to.
off the rails.
Okay, hold on. Okay, first of all, I'm not going off the rails. We're talking about gun control. And if you want to go ad hominem attacks on me, I don't mind that at all, but you got to back it up. You see, Al, we're not just, this whole show isn't just about metal detectors and the 2 Republicans you claim that might have helped pass metal detector laws in Las Vegas or Clark County. We're talking about gun control and gun violence in the country. So I'm going to ask it one more time, and let's see if Doofus can answer it. What have Republicans done in the last couple decades? I'm giving you a 20-year window. Nationally, what bills have they put on the books that they pushed for that actually lowered gun violence in this country, or even you believe helped lower gun violence, besides some metal detector thing in Clark County? What have they done nationally? What has Donald Trump done, the orange doofus that you voted for? What has he done? And what have national Republicans...
And they do not support red flag laws.
Exactly. What have they done, Al? I'm not going off the rails. Answer the question.
Sir, again, the answer, the reason I called was about metal detectors.
You're a coward. You're a coward. You're a coward.
What's he going to say? There's nothing
You're going to talk to somebody.
You're a coward.
I haven't done my research on. You're off.
You haven't done your. I'm off the rails.
No, I've done my research, and you don't have.
On the crazy train, you're part of it.
Right. Okay, go ahead, Leonard. Yeah, I'm the crazy train.
I only brought up the metal detectors as a starting point. I was not speaking in terms of solving the problem. And then Brian gave us some alternatives. What about if they take a different path? What about if they, and that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
But you have to start somewhere. And I can't understand for the life of me why anybody would be against, other than the money.
No, Al, I'll do the research for you. Nothing. Republicans nationally have done nothing, because unlike you, I know what I'm talking about.
And they will not pass a red flag
law. And you
want
to bring up this anecdotal, right, they won't pass red flag laws or anything. But yet you seem to continue to defend Orange Turd, the liable sexual abusing 34-count felon. He did nothing. Let me tell you what happened after October 1. And this should be personal to Leonard, and I'm sure it is. Donald Trump flew out here to Vegas for his photo op. He spent an hour in a hospital taking pictures with people, and then he left town. Okay. And then he met with the leader of the NRA at the time, the guy who I think stole money from the organization. Okay. He was going to pass this bump stocks thing, which I don't think anybody could make their own bump stock if you know anything about guns. And he wanted to be a champion for that. And then he was against it because he met with the leader of the NRA. Donald Trump, just like you're a coward and you want to answer the question. So I'm going to answer it for you. Hey, Al, Republicans have done nothing nationally to address this issue. They say more guns make us safer. You're probably one of those idiots that believes that, okay? They think more guns make us safer. They think kindergarten teachers should be armed with weapons.
They do think.
Why don't you just answer the question honestly and say, you know what, they haven't done anything? Just like you. They haven't done anything. Why don't you just answer the question?
Okay, can I answer now? Can I talk? Or am I off hold here over here?
Yeah, it's my show and not yours, doofus.
Okay, sir. It's your show. Okay, that's the problem with
you want to talk about metal detectors again?
People on, and you don't let them talk.
I've kept you on for 10 minutes now, doofus.
Maybe
wait, calm him down. You're right.
On the longest out of anybody.
I don't have an answer. I'm now asking you the same question for the 10th time. I answer any question that anybody asks me on this show. No, I'm asking you the same question, and I'm going to give you one more opportunity since you just claimed I don't ask the question. I'm now going to ask you for the 10th time, and this will be the last time, okay? What have Republicans done on a national level, including Donald Trump and any Republican president or any national figure that is an elected official that's a Republican? What have they put on the books in the last 20 years that you believe have saved lives when it comes to gun control? And don't say metal detectors. Go. I hear crickets.
Well, we gave him his time.
I hear Al just hung up the phone. Aw, it's interesting. I asked him the same question 10 times, Leonard, and he wouldn't answer the question because he couldn't, because he knows the answer is no, they haven't done anything. That is your typical MAGA clown.
My only point on the metal detectors was maybe we shouldn't take such a big bite, because if you want to pass, I mean, look at this state. Last year, we almost had a supermajority in the assembly. We missed by 1. This year, supermajority in the assembly. Missed in the Senate, supermajority by 1. So we have a lot of control. The Democrats have a lot of control. But how come nothing ever passes or gets addressed.
I'm so glad that Al called in, because that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. There are not a lot of people that are intellectually honest on the far right when it comes to this issue. The answer is nothing. Okay. Now, if Al just said, I don't know of anything, I would have respected that answer because he wouldn't be lying. Instead, he dodged it, he avoided it, and he wanted to talk about metal detectors in Clark County.
Well, people call in with talking points, but the problem with a talking point is you don't really have the knowledge that surrounds it. That, if you listen to one of the news stations and they're providing talking points, you don't have the knowledge that surrounds it.
Al, go ahead and call into one of your right-wing echo chamber radio shows with 4 listeners, and I'm sure they'll give you the time of day, but I won't.